for children in the community this holiday season. Cumberland County Schools welcomes Dr. Arisha Mosley DeBose as the new Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction following the approval of the Cumberland County Board of Education. Dr. DeBose currently serves as the Executive Director of Elementary Curriculum and Instruction and Federal Programs for Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
With the stalled front over the region for the Memorial Day weekend, we'll see multiple chances for scattered showers and storms. Temperatures cooler today, then will gradually warm up through the start of next week with more chances for rain. Some showers are possible this morning with temperatures in the mid-60s. Then we'll see better chances for scattered showers and storms by this afternoon. Highs will only reach the mid to upper 70s and will be mostly cloudy. We'll drop to the low to mid-60s by Saturday morning. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
This is Apostle V.L. Whitfield of Righteous God Ministries, 2444 Owen Drive. You are listening to Wake Up.
In life's most difficult moments, you deserve compassion, dignity, and peace of mind. At Wiseman Mortuary, 431 Cumberland Street, we've been serving families with care and respect for generations. We're proud to announce our new location, Wiseman Mortuary of Garland, 65 North Belgrade Avenue, Garland, North Carolina. From traditional services to personalized tributes, we are here to guide you every step of the way with warm understanding and experience. Let us help you honor a life well lived. Wiseman Mortuary, where every life is celebrated and every family is cared for. Call us today at 910-483-7111 in Fayetteville or 910-529-1341 or visit wisemanmortuary.com to learn more. Wiseman Mortuary in Fayetteville and Garland, caring for families when it matters most.
Wake up, catch the vision, join the team. This is Pastor Reginald Johnston of My Father's House Christian Church right here in Fayetteville. We want you to wake up and join the team. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's good when we come together. We're one body, many parts. We desire that you wake up and join the team. It's good to be a part of Wake Up. Wake up, join the team. We will see you in Jesus' name. God bless you.
It's one of life's simplest comforts. Turning on the tap and knowing clean, safe water's there. A glass before bed, a warm shower in the morning, water to cook, clean, and care for loved ones. So often, it's something that can be taken for granted. But behind every drop is a commitment to quality, safety, and service. At Fayetteville PWC, providing award-winning water is more than a service. It is a responsibility and a point of pride. Delivering clean, reliable water remains a top priority for Fayetteville and surrounding communities every single day, because clean water supports healthy families, strengthens neighborhoods, and helps communities thrive today and for generations to come. Discover more about the difference quality water makes at faypwc.com. Fayetteville PWC, always there, always on, always built to serve.
This is Bishop Johnny Ray Jr. of the Churches of Worship Worldwide, Apostle J.A. McDonough, 2118 Owen Drive. And we are proud to be a part of the Wake Up. Come and join the team.
This is Apostle Norman Wilson Neal
and Evangelist Carolyn Murphy
of Word of Life Teaching and Deliverance Broadcast. And you are listening to Wake Up.
Hi, my name is Apostle Preston Davis Jr., Senior Pastor of True Love Church International, and you're listening to Wake Up.
Sharing information and inspiration. You are listening to Heartbeat on WIDU, the WIDU Network.
Any views or opinions presented on this program are solely those of the host and do not necessarily represent those of the owners, management, staff, advertisers, or sponsors of this radio station. It is not our intent to make any defamatory statements or infringe upon the rights of any human being. Any such communication is contrary to our core values and beliefs as hosts of Heartbeat.
Shh. Heartbeat.
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 Heartbeat. You're listening to Heartbeat.
Listening to Heartbeat.
You tune in to Heartbeat.
Yes, and good morning, and yes, you are in tune to Wake Up with Heartbeat Radio Talk Show. We're in WIDU, the WIDU Radio Network. We're also streaming live. Our platforms consist of Facebook and YouTube. Do us a great favor, like, share, and comment. With Wake Up, it is a call-in talk show with Heartbeat. Yep, the gents allow you to call in for a few at 910-483-6111. The phone lines are open. Now would be a good time to call in because they have great topics of talk today. It is a full agenda radio talk show with the gents today. To know them is to love them, and in my honest opinion, they are the true prime example of what Christ is and should be. Good looking 1, 2, and 3 are in the building today. We say a hearty hello, good morning to the Heartbeat team, the Heartbeat family. We thank them for making time for us here at WIDU for Heartbeat Radio Talk Show. They do a superb, top-notch good job. The gents are here ready to give us today's presentation of Heartbeat Radio Talk Show. Let us savor the moment. Let us bask in the ambiance of true greatness. Bishops in the house, Bishop J.O. GODBOLT, and Senior Pastor Ron GODBOLT, the coach of the crew, Minister Tony Billingslea. That means we have perfect attendance. Good morning, Heartbeat family. We're ready for you. We're ready for Heartbeat Radio Talk Show. It's on you, gents.
Thank you so much, Tammy. You sound so good, making us feel so professional. And we gotta say this, you gotta dance like there's nobody watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. Good morning, world. I am Dr. J.L. GODBOLT.
I'm Dr. Ron GODBOLT.
And I'm Tony Billingslea,
the captain. This is Heartbeat Flight 2026 on Wake Up, where we still believe the truth is the truth if no one believes it. And a lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. It's still a great day in the village. We're looking for some rain. Please send some rain, Lord, if it pleases you. Right here, we're giving a shout out to all of our friends on Facebook, YouTube, as you're following us. Again, a shout out to all of our stations. We're up and running. Everybody's up and running. WEWO, Laurinburg, we appreciate you. WAGR in Lumberton. WYDU in Red Springs. And WIDU in Fayetteville. If you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, happy birthday, happy anniversary to you. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you got a family, spend some quality time with them. If you don't have a family, spend some quality time with somebody. What you got, Doc?
Grief Share is getting ready to kick off a new session June 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd, and that runs every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30. You can call the church for more information, 910-323-8889. and then hit that dial for Grief Share, and Sister Angela Caraway Williams will return your call and get you the information that you need. Also, we have an online session on Saturdays from 9 to 10:30 a.m. But you need to call the church to get the number so you can go online with them. And the church is located 918 Person Street, for those that come in on Wednesday, 918 Person Street here in Fayetteville, across from the Wiener Works.
The number to call also is 910-323-8889. 910-323-8889. Well, listen, we got 3 topics today, and if you want to call in, the number here to call is 910-483-6111. We got the Bishop answering the phone calls today, Bishop Mark Rowden. Make sure you say hello to him when you call in and you want to get online with us. He's going to answer the phones, send the message back to us as we talk about what we know about the Justice Fund of $1.8 billion with the B dollars for victims of weaponization. We're going to talk about what steps we can do to protect fair process of voting in the area of gerrymandering, as well as how effective is the junk food lobbyist in their quest on Capitol Hill. If we get a chance, we're going to hit some more tips on cutting your food bill, too. I want to keep that in. Captain and I were talking about that, and we just got a little bit on it, and it was getting good and had to leave because MP 1, 2, and 3 were, well, MP 1 and 2 and 3 were here. No, 1 and 2, that's right. So we wanted to make sure we get a chance to get that back on the boat with us. And we got a health tip and a did you know. Don't go too far, Tammy, we want you to hear the did you knows today, okay? All right, so $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund from the department, DOJ, initiated, and we if you've been following the news at all, you know that the current president agreed to drop a civil lawsuit, first time in the history that a president sued his own government for Internal Revenue Service for regarding some kind of leak on his tax return. That's questionable, but however, they agreed to it. So what we got is it's really $1.776 billion, but we round it to 1.8. I mean, you get that close. It's drawn from the Federal Judgment Fund, and it's a permanent, uncapped congressional appropriation lawsuit against the government. So what we know is this money is supposed to be in the hands of the Attorney General so that he can pass it out without any regards or requirements to anybody other than the fact that if he decides they need it, they can get it. So with that being said, with $1.8 billion, you can pass it out to who you want to. Let's talk about that. What you got, Captain? Get us started.
That's quite a bit of money, as you say. You know, if we look at $1 billion in terms of spending, they say an individual could spend every day and probably couldn't spend $1 billion in their lifetime. And we're talking about, like you say, 1.8, almost $2 billion in this so-called slush fund, that anyone who feels that they have been wronged by a legal proceeding can apply for these funds. And in fairness to the president now, he and his family, as part of the lawsuit, will not receive any monetary gain supposedly from this particular fund, but it is open to individuals in his league or his entourage, because some of them have ought against Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Especially these ones who were involved in January 6th.
That's where one of the main issues come in. Doc, you want to share something on that about the MAGA?
I just can't believe that we are even considering this. They committed a crime. They were trespassing on government property. They ran the vice president along with all the senators out of a meeting for their lives. Some people got killed. A couple people got killed. People got hurt. What do we do for other prisoners that go to jail that did wrong? They have to try to find a way to get there. And what you got here is all different stories of them saying, I can't find a job now. One man talking about my business was $400 million now. I can't get that back. But when you commit a crime and you do wrong, there's consequences. And we're going to reward them money. I thought this ain't true. I thought it was fake news.
Yeah. Well, one of the first people who were on this morning even talking about that was the head of one of the right-wing groups who did that he was videoed, committed, arrested, convicted, had served some time. And he is one of the first people to say, I'm going to get money from this. He was talking about something like $300 million that was owed him. His family has suffered behind, quote unquote, being wrongfully charged. You can't be wrongfully charged if you have been found guilty in a court of law that was fair. Yeah. Now, we know some cases where people are not being fair. We get that. But if you're going to take it to this level, I mean, law enforcement, there are several law enforcement agents who are now countersuing on this area too. So we'll talk about that in a moment. I know you want to make another point, Captain.
And how many citizens do we have to come out of incarceration on a daily basis that can't find employment simply because they have a felony record? What are we going to do about those individuals? Now, the Department of Justice and along with Mr. Trump have gone as far as to give many of these individuals clemency or pardon these individuals, and now they're going to get financial gain simply because they have been pardoned from a crime that we all know that they were found guilty of.
Well, here again, anytime you try to set up a situation to benefit a particular group out of hate, there's always too many holes in it because you can't cover all the bases. I mean, of course, I'm looking at people that we know of. We have talked about this from the very beginning. African Americans who were charged with something they did not even do. Yeah. And spent 30, 40 years in prison. Yeah. You get out, they give you a few dollars, and now you're supposed to live with that. You can't get a job anyplace else. Here's a guy who is the head of a right-wing organization, anti-Semitic, black people of color, caught in the very act, and he's online, on the media talking about receiving those funds because his family has been hurt by a wrongful conviction, which is not true. Yeah. But this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, we know that much of our private information is supposed to be held in a secure or confidential manner. But when it comes to individuals who are running for public office in the highest offices in the land, many times in the past, those individuals voluntarily disclosed their tax records. And now we have individuals claiming that someone illegally leaked their tax information when much of that information anyway is public record.
It's a ploy. In my personal opinion, it is just a setup for another plan he has. If I let the folk know, no matter what you've done, I can give you clemency, I can free you up, give you a presidential pardon, I can give you money. Just make sure that things that I need are being covered. There has to be another agenda attached to this. There's no other way that you can put it out there.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this DOJ fund of $1.8 billion is actual tax money that American citizens have paid into the tax system. And now they're going to take that portion and set it aside for individuals who believe they have been wrongly accused or held against their will.
Yeah, and can you imagine this a mother, husband dead, and now you'll take some of my tax money to take care of the person that, first of all, to give them free them and give them clemency, you couldn't even believe that happened. But now you're going to give them money. And we're talking, I think the latest count I saw was 1,600 people.
Okay. Well, we got an acting attorney general, Todd Blanche, who he declined to say that the people, when he was asked, those who were assaulted in January 6th, are they able to apply for these payouts? But now we see it already happening. That's part of it. Now, let's take this for a moment. I'll put a name out here. Let's say I'm looking at, let's say James Comey. Let's put him out there. We know he held a pretty high position in the government. He was accused of something he didn't really do, yet he was being attacked. Can he apply for that money?
According to the standard of application, he would be able to apply.
No.
But mind you, the people who make the decision for awarding the funds is composed of a commission or committee of individuals who are appointed by this administration.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, the acting attorney general was his personal lawyer for some time. Okay, right now the former officer Harry Dunn and Daniel Hodges have filed a federal lawsuit against the president and to dissolve this fund. And we'll just see how far this goes. But who would have believed that we will be in this place? And even the several Republicans have pulled away from this and said this is not going to happen. We're not pulling for this. But yet, this is one of the things that we are seeing. A slush fund for MAGA is really one of the concerns that we're seeing happening quickly. Yeah.
In my humble opinion, this waters down the decision under the Obama administration. There was under the Obama administration, there was a precedent set for establishing this type of fund when the Obama administration sued portions of the federal government for racism and won in court. And I think they had close to $700 million that was dispensed to various organizations and individuals who were unjustly, when they were trying to do things like get contracts with the government and those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I've had some personal friends who benefited from that.
Yeah.
Because had they not gotten that, they would have not been able to get those contracts. Yeah.
So I'm saying, because of the way this particular fund is set up and now the precedent behind it, it's going to water down that decision. So someone coming behind this particular decision that really has a legitimate claim or concern, I think they may find it difficult to win in court now.
Yeah, because they're going to put apples and oranges together, and then it's going to be hard to separate what you're trying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. That's a good point, valid point.
Yeah. What's going to happen, like you said, the good people that got legitimate cases are going to get pushed back. Of course, they're going to get pushed back anyway, because this is going to take up all the time in the courts with all this, these 1,600 people they said already that are in the potential victims. They're the first ones on the list.
You guys, I know at least Tony, you do as well, play chess.
Yes.
And there's a move called a fool's checkmate. You get a person looking for one way to think that you had it, but you get them putting all their defenses on one side, and you actually come in on another door. Every time I see something like this, that move comes to my mind, that we're actually looking at the wrong thing to focus on something else that's going on. But when you start messing with everybody that was charged in January 6th, went through court, served, and some of them even said, when the president gets in office, I'm coming out. They knew.
They already knew it, yeah.
That I'm coming out. And that promise was made to them, to have, this is my guy who's going to watch out for me. And I'll never forget hearing my wife say during the first administration, when things were happening like that and these people were getting out. She said, for the first time in my life, when I see several white men walking together, young guys, I feel threatened. I'm concerned for my own safety.
Yeah.
And I thought about, if they did, what would I do? And then even if I protected my wife and I did something to them, would I get a fair chance in the court? Because we've already seen that the courts have lined it up with this MAGA situation. We've seen the Supreme Court. We've seen government officials. We've seen laws being passed. And now we're heading into gerrymandering in the South. 5 states that have worked almost unprecedented in the time and frame they're working in to make sure that they can change those districts so that we don't have any representation of people of color. So we see that this is lining up all the way through from the White House to every house, especially in the South.
Yeah, yeah, and the watchdogs that we have that could monitor these kinds of things, they're under attack. Like the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Oh, yes.
And places like that. You know, you mentioned the Fool's Checkmate. I like to say that the prestidigitators or the vaudeville magician, when he's pulling the rabbit out of the hat, directs your attention someplace else while somebody stuffs the rabbit in the hat. So it's a bunch of rabbits going in some hats, and we're looking in the wrong direction.
I tell you. Tammy, I don't know why you're making that clock go so fast, but we need to slow that clock down, okay? There's something happening here. But anyhow, let's do a did you know at the bottom of the hour and a health tip. Gents, and I want to get to several other pieces we got to talk about today as well. Did you know, and this is for Tammy, so she'll be aware of this. Did you know, Tammy, I will help you out. Did you know there's, you ought to think twice before you start kissing. In your mouth alone, there are more bacteria that's easy accessible than there are people on the earth.
What?
Yes. Now, brushing and flossing can scatter some of those bacteria, and when you are moving your saliva out your mouth, that helps some. But basically, your mouth is never, ever clean.
Ooh. That's why.
You got the nasty mouth. You got the nasty mouth.
I see why Mama would say, "You better not kiss that baby in the mouth."
Don't be kissing my babies.
My babies.
That's it. Dirty mouths. We all got dirty mouths.
And then if you use profanity, it's even worse.
Double dirty mouth. Did you know ants don't have lungs?
Okay.
What?
They don't have lungs.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work. Okay.
Somebody must have dissected that ant.
I'm sure
you know they did.
I'm sure they did. Probably got good money for it too.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you know that the concept for the McDonald's drive-through actually came about because a manager at a McDonald's in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, created the drive-through because military members could not wear their uniforms, their fatigue uniforms, in public if they were working.
Yeah.
And so he created the drive-through so that they could come up to the window, get their food, and go back to work.
Wow. Okay. Well, at least that's ingenuity.
Yeah.
Ingenuity. Okay. Making money.
And on that note, with this war situation that broke out, the government has stopped, especially like school. I don't know about the military. Our junior ROTC program, they couldn't wear their uniforms over the last month and a half because some soldiers are getting attacked. Because the people taking sides about the war and taking out on them. So our students, they hadn't worn them about the last 2 months. They have a day to dress out. They hadn't had one.
That's amazing.
That's a sad commentary for our nation.
Yeah, we have no business in this war, but nonetheless. Let's keep going. A health tip, what you got, Dr. Ron, what you got?
Encourage healthy habits in others. Healthy eating tends to be contagious. When you make nutritious choices, you're more likely to influence your family, friends, and coworkers to do the same. Create a ripple effect of wellness.
That's good.
Good. Lifting weights in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or even 80s is very beneficial for your overall health. Resistance exercise creates strengths in muscles, ligaments, and tendons. And strength is important for older adults for daily activities such as sitting, standing, walking, and simply enjoying life.
I can attest to that. I say amen, because I used to do a lot of running on the machines, and one of the guys who was talking to me said, at your age, he said, you need to flip that, do more on the weights, and no more than 20 minutes with the cardiovascular.
Oh, man.
And because your body gets confused when you, as a man, doing the cardio first, it starts to produce a different kind of so you have to be aware. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that tip. I got busy, so it helps out. For my tip is, if you want to wake up, really wake up, it's not caffeine that can wake you up. The most powerful, the best thing to take or help you wake up is an apple. An apple has more effective, eating an apple, it has more effects to wake you up than caffeine.
I'm on the right track.
Isn't that something? Yeah. So just in case you have a hard time getting up in the morning, I know you love that coffee and the smell of that coffee.
Yes.
But sometimes, if you really want to wake up, you need to get you an apple. Okay. So as we continue our show today, and I'm so grateful that those of you who are following us, that you are. It means a lot to us, and we say hello to you again for the work you're doing in our state. Had a good conversation with a pastor who was one of our city council members some time back, and we were just talking about some ways that we can do some things locally to make our city better, make our county better, and it's important. So now we're talking about protecting a fair election process from the gerrymandering that is going throughout, especially the South. But it's been something. Let's be fair and honest here. Gerrymandering is not something new. It's been going on both sides. When you got power, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or whatever, when you can change situations to get your votes, you did. It's just the people who are not in power sometimes tend to, back during those times before now, would do something like make the most noise to let folk know you're not doing it right. But now this situation has gotten so deep that we need to pay attention to the entire South becoming what it was back during the days of Jim Crowism. And that's what our concern is. We're being pushed back 50, 60 years in just one failed swoop of a decision being made, I think it was 6-3 in our government, our judicial department, 6-3. And it's going to be that kind of voting for almost every issue until somebody decides that we should never have allowed federal judges to be on the bench until they died or until they got ready to get off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, as we speak, the maps in North Carolina are being redrawn. So by the time we get to vote in the upcoming November elections, and then in 20.
You got your card in your foot there.
Oh, thank you. We're going to see, as you said, our voting power watered down simply because of the way people can draw maps. You know, every state is allowed 2 senators, so there are a total of 100 senators in the Congress, and then based on population in districts, we have 400. I think a total of 435 representatives in the House of Representatives.
Right.
And so we keep juggling numbers. Senators get an opportunity to serve for 6 years, and representatives only for 2. That needs to be
Yeah, we need some tweaking.
Tweaking.
Yeah.
You know, senators need a much shorter term than 6 years, and these representatives probably need a little bit longer than 2 years to be effective at what they do. But because people in power, as you say, now they can manipulate the districts and basically put who in they want to put in. If you don't think redlining still exists in America, drive around your city or your municipality and look at the neighborhoods where people live.
And it's so easy to do because you got the statistics that you can follow to see in this area what the majority of people vote for. So then if they vote for the party you don't want, then you change them over, split it up, and then I can see just how easy that is to do. And then for the legislators to let this happen, it turns out to who has the majority at the time gets it done. And what's going to happen? They're going to change it, and then when the Democrats get back in, they're going to change it back.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I saw as I was researching this, is that in order to prevent this, we should advocate for independent redistricting. In other words, have citizens need to take the initiative to make sure that the people who are redrawing these maps are doing it in the fairest way possible, if there is a fair way.
Yeah, if at all possible. Citizen-led commissions is one of the key thing here. How we can get people, retired judges, community leaders, everyday citizens that have a dog in the fight, if you will, to say, and nonpartisan, that we really want the best people in the office. But we want to make sure that all the parties are being represented, all races. And I hate to use the word races because there's only one, the human race. It was man who divided things up in color for the benefit of superiority. It was never God. But and back to when we read and studied the Bible, for those who understand, it is a Middle Eastern, if you will, North African start. And it was not white at all. It was a mixture of color. And then people from a nation could be any color. If you were part of that nation, you were not just, as television has blinded us to think that everybody was white or everybody was black or whatever. That was never the case until we started getting involved for power. But my point being said that transparency is going to be the key, because if we really want the best for our nation, we want to make sure that the best people get in those positions, and that person, all of us, are being taught on the right level, trained on the right level. You bring them into a school, and you want all the kids at Douglasburg to be as successful as the children at Terry Sanford, as Pine Forest, or wherever they may be. You want all the children to be successful, because the one you may be holding back now could be the one that would answer later on. Okay. And so looking at that concept, the only way that I'm seeing what's happening today is there are private meetings where people are being pumped up, cheerleaded, and made to feel frightened by the fact that you're losing your power. You're not being fair to us. There's too many people coming into our country, and they are taking from us what belongs to us, and they're making them feel frightened, and so they're making decisions out of fear rather than understanding. Wait a minute, hold on, guys. There's enough here for all of us. And the real enemy is not us. We need to be working together. We're on the same ship. You sink the back of the ship if you want to, because you're on the front. Eventually, the whole ship's going down.
That's right. Okay. Regardless of where you sit.
No matter where you are.
And we need to get away from this idea. Unfortunately, in my humble opinion, political parties are now becoming almost divine. You know, your philosophy is based on whether or not you're Democratic, Republican, Libertarian, or independent. You know, when we're all American citizens, and anyone who's an American citizen should have a right to vote, and they should vote. But now we're caught up in, you're not patriotic if you're a Democrat, but I'm patriotic because I'm a libertarian or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Those are things. If we are going to be successful, ladies and gentlemen, let's start in the grassroots. Let's vote locally every time we get the opportunity, and not just when there's a president up for grabs. That's one of the ways that you slip in your own agenda or the people you want to help you with your agenda in the non-presidential voting years. Election. That's you start getting those representatives into those positions. You start getting people locally, judges in positions, and we're not paying attention to it.
Because those are the people who are going to sit on these commissions and these committees and draw the maps.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And that's why we have to pay attention to what is happening locally. Okay? So don't get blinded to all the information. Ask the questions. Okay? Yeah. And that's important for us.
You know, and please get out of their mind that my vote don't count. I mean, it's just one vote. But no, everybody's one count makes a difference. And you know, and I'm like, Brother Tony, if we can get past, I wish we had a law that if you could run Democrat or run Republican, but once you got in office, you couldn't mention that word again. You just had to work about what's best for the nation. That if they could get that mindset, we could be so much farther down the road. But they can't. They can't. I mean, if this one of them wanted gold, the other one says it's the wrong color gold. That's why I'm not voting for it. You know, it's sad that we can't come together.
One of the pieces of this whole puzzle that still gets at me is we have allowed people to run and hold office, and we don't hold them accountable for integrity.
Yeah.
That to me has to be number one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat if you're a person of integrity.
Yeah.
And I don't mean your definition. I'm talking about the biblical and the definition that we see in I'm trying to think of Thorndike and Webster. There's some definition about integrity, which has to do with are you responsible, trustworthy? Are you really honest about what we need as a nation? Do you see the need of all people? Are you fair? And that's the key. Are you fair? Because when we start talking about the needs here, the only way we're going to ever come out of this is somebody got to sit down and start talking about the hard issues. And the hard issues is, why don't you like me because of my color? How do we get to the point? And let me stop before I get too happy.
No, you doing.
But here, when I'm going back in history, I was looking at something yesterday. I'm going to pull up the name and share this with you guys. But the way that Africa was stripped down, and the Portuguese and the Spanish were the first one to come in, the way it was done is that the government, or the armies, if you will, needed to go in. It was the Pope in 1400. It was the Pope that told them, yes, you got the right to go in here because these people are not as human. They are less than we are. Yeah. So they all they needed was a piece of paper, kind of like what Paul did. Paul, when he went and said, let me get rid of these Christians, he just wanted the paper. He already had something in mind. So it was the Pope that gave the permission, the Portuguese. Then the Spanish heard about it, and they got to their Pope, and they did the same thing. And they started killing genocide African people on the continent of Africa because of the wealth. Now it started with the church,
and the document justified them putting African citizens into bondage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let me add this to it. It wasn't until 2023 that the Pope and all the folk in the church admitted that was not right. Okay, it was the 1400s, 1463, something like that, when they did it. 2023.
23. Oh, okay. My God.
And now they already got tithes for all those years. They admit it was not right.
Right.
Guess how much money they gave to the Africans?
Yeah.
Zero.
You guess right. Exactly not one penny.
Of all those years of slavery, working free,
genocide, rippings, rapings, whatever. That's the kind of mindset. And then when you have people in office who say it's not important, let's forget about the past and move on. You can't. You got to deal with this. And so if somebody's willing to start dealing with this, and how do we get here? What's your fear of us, or fear of people of color? You're not losing because we are all getting better. Okay. Oh, anyway, I'm preaching. Let me stop. Okay.
You're preaching good.
Okay. Well, these things are they're so simple, but you can see how the chaos can become more and more. How this guy is working with chaos and confusion, and he keeps us all under this cloud of ignorance and fear, so that we don't stop and say, how does this really work and what makes us better? So you've got to start looking at our options here, and those options are redistricting. How do we deal with that? And we can do it engaging in the grassroots. I think that's one of the key ways. Okay? All right. We got so much more we can talk about on that area.
Yes.
But let's skip right on up. We'll come back to it. When I saw this about the junk food lobbyists on Capitol Hill, I said, we got to do this because junk food, I hate. I can't stand junk food because they gave it the right name. But by definition of it, what they were doing in their marketing techniques, they were also trying to figure out how to get some of that government money that they were not allowing people to use certain benefits, if you will, the federal benefits, to buy certain products. It's so amazing how many millions of dollars, how to make sure that these issues, like for instance, I want to bring this up, there are certain food additives, there are bans on certain kind of purchasing of food items that the nutrition value is not there, so people can't use their government subsidy monies to buy these things. So it's like they know they like the stuff, they got the additives in it to addict you to it, but they won't let you buy it because of the strict laws. They're there on Capitol Hill making sure that they can talk these senators and representatives into striking that law down so they can get more money for the junk that they're selling.
Once again, I thank you for this assignment because I learned so much. This is right under our noses, and we're not seeing what's happening. These food lobbyists are putting us in a position to remain unhealthy. Obesity is one of the largest health issues that we face in America, and it's being caused, as you said, by processed foods. These when we say junk food, we're not just talking about the cookies and the candies on the aisle. We're talking about food items that individuals purchase on a daily basis for nutrition that have all these chemicals and additives in them, and laws are being passed so that, as an example, people who have EBT cards and things like that can only purchase certain items. You might not be able to purchase from the farmer's market with your EBT card, but you can go to the grocery store and you can go down the middle aisle and get all this processed food that's destroying your body.
Wow.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, major snacks and soda producing companies are doing that. And when you think about the low nutritional value that's in it, they don't care about your health, ladies and gentlemen. All they want to make sure is that they get that money. And when I look at the food deserts that we have in just North Carolina alone, you can ride some places out on going 87 South, you can go out 24 and hit these areas, and I'm just riding there. All I see are these quick I won't call the name of them, but with these little stores that you can buy at the same place you can almost buy a pair of socks. You can buy buy a pair of socks from there. You can buy that other stuff, but nutritionally, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And your body is not able to do anything with that stuff, and it stays in your body. Then it starts to doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And the money they have, Mars and Hershey spent $430 million on lobbying the first quarter of this year. And they said the food and beverage industry has spent a record $113 million in lobbying since Trump returned to office last January. So, they got this money, and that's why they pushing this agenda so hard, because they got the money to spare.
Do you guys remember when cigarettes, we were trying our best to get cigarettes off the market, to put, I won't say off the market, but certainly putting the right kind of wording on there.
Make people aware they weren't good for our health.
Yeah. But you already put the additives in there, so people get addicted to it. Nicotine. If it's just cigarettes with nothing in it, people are smoking, but they put the additives in there to make sure you get hooked on it. Then they had so much money, they fought the government for I don't know how many years to keep it. And then finally they put some writing on the side of the package about a certain general. I can't remember all the words.
A certain general has proven that cigarette smoking is
dangerous to your health.
Yeah. Finally. Okay. We get some words on it.
Yeah. But not only these additives such as nicotine being in the tobacco, they added flavors.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So that certain populations would buy certain brands of cigarettes. Menthol being one of the flavors that they put into cigarettes, and then they would sell those to a certain population, and the advertisement would target, oh, you'd be cool if you smoke these.
Yeah, you got that.
As opposed to these.
And see, all of that comes back to what we talk about, the gerrymandering piece, the health piece, and keeping people in certain neighborhoods, and you can advertise in those neighborhoods the cool cigarettes, or that's all that ties in, because if real estate people know that we don't want any people of color in this area, so whenever they come looking for a house, don't put them in that area. And if we do approve them, don't let them get this rate, give them the higher rate. If they want a car, don't give them to the bank, send them to our other that we own, this lending institution where the interest rate is higher. All of this stuff ties in with gerrymandering by it's a different name, but it still works the same way. Keeping people from being the best that they can be and give them the fair opportunities. Yeah. So anyway, the food, when I looked at this and saw how many people, how in depth they went to fight. Now, add that also to movies. If you remember, it was cool to smoke in movies. There were companies, there were major tobacco companies supporting certain movies to make sure certain pieces were in that movie when they finished having their relationships. You had to pull that cigarette out. All of that was a part
John
of it.
Wayne rolled a cigarette while he was riding across the range.
All of that is part of the gerrymandering mentality. So we know what's happening, and we have got to be able to not only make that known to our public, but we also have to make it known in a way that we want to come up with a solution. And that's what we need to talk about too. And again, I told Tammy to slow that clock down, but she didn't pay any attention to me.
One of the things that I noticed as I did this research was that these lobbyists are very successful in convincing the government that voluntary corporate level regulation is much more preferable than strict mandatory laws. So when they're allowed to police themselves as opposed to the government passing legislation says, well, you can't do this. And you both have traveled abroad. You know, there are certain things in Europe, as an example, they cannot put into foods, not even to preserve it on the shelf. Sure. And most people I know in Asia, where I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, people shop on a daily basis. If they have refrigeration units in their homes, they're very small. Mm-hmm. They shop. They buy fresh produce, fresh meat. They eat it that day, or consume it that day, and then they go back out again the next day. They don't put things in the freezer or on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. It's fresh every day. We have a member of our church, Deacon McIntosh. Shout out to you, bro. Years ago, whenever he had finished his tour, he took a job in the Middle East to continue what he was doing. But the short of the long story was he was there in the initial introduction of the Middle Eastern culture to our foods, our restaurants, the Ruby Tuesdays and the fast foods, and they brought those foods into the Middle East and on those areas. He was telling me about how they started coming in and what happened over the years. They started noticing that the people who ate from there started getting some kind of diseases they never had before, even from arthritis, not overweightness but the arthritis. They started finding that a lot of things happening in their blood that was they never had in their whole history, until we started bringing American restaurants into the Middle East. So that tells us a lot about what we do in America. We are great at making money. We're great at the economy, but we are not good at people and caring for life in the sense of making it better for people.
Yes. I mean that's the bottom line there. When you deal with America, follow the dollar, and you'll find out why something got passed, why something is in effect. When you follow the dollar.
Follow the dollar.
And with that being said, Tammy's finally come back in here, and it's that time. It's gone. It's over. We are finished. We look forward to seeing you next Friday as we talk with you more about some great things that we didn't tell you about. And first of all, last and finally is the only thing that evil needs to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Bye-bye.